Welcome to Supply Chain Short Takes, a brief discussion with an industry expert on important issues affecting supply chain management. I'm David Maloney, the Group Editorial Director at DC Velocity and Supply Chain Exchange. Joining me today is Doug Schuchart. He's the Global Intralogistics Industry Manager at Beckhoff. That's a manufacturer of new automation and technology. Doug has been with Beckhoff since 2007, and he has more than 27 years of experience in industrial automation and controls, and more than 8 of those years has been focused on intralogistics and material handling industry management. Welcome, Doug. It's good to have you with us today.
Thank you, Dave. Good to be here.
Doug, for those not familiar with Beckhoff, can you share a bit about your company and its role in the supply chain industry?
Yeah, absolutely. We are an industrial automation controls company founded in 1980 and a pioneer of PC-based control technology, but today offering a whole line of PLCs, industrial PCs, our own control software, drive technology, IOs, and so forth. So we're a leader in the industry and the developer of the well-known EtherCAT technology.
Right, and you're a very well-known and respected name within the industry. Today, we're going to be discussing some sort of under the hood considerations for autonomous mobile robot developers and end users. And to begin, we hear a lot in the industry today about mobile robots. Why do you believe they're being considered so much as an attractive material handling solution?
Yeah, and maybe first I'll just say mobile robots would include AGVs, automated guided vehicles, and AMRs, autonomous mobile vehicles. And there's some other acronyms. But the reason why they're so interesting is because of their flexibility. If you look at traditional material handling equipment, even if they're created to be modular, they have restrictions on how flexible they can be. They're generally fixed to the warehouse or fulfillment center floor, and that just restricts their flexibility. So, mobile robots provide a tremendous amount of flexibility. They're enabling companies to augment their labor and do different tasks that maybe are either unsafe or undesirable for their regular labor. So very interesting for companies to augment with industrial robots.
And now we see the world changing so fast, and it's changing also within that part of the industry. So, what should someone look for in an automation system to really stay ahead and be competitive in this fast changing world live in today?
Yeah, well, traditional controls would include three facets: a PLC, a navigation system, and a safety system. And of course, when we talk about digitization and all different AI that you're hearing about every day, you really want to look for a control system that can combine all of these and, most importantly, combine them into a single piece of hardware. Generally, they're three separate pieces of hardware. And traditional PLCs are really just meant to, change bits and be, I'll say, singularly functions running on the device. So you really should look at a more complete mobile robot controller that can combine navigation, safety, PLC, and then these future technologies. Not always necessarily future; they're happening today, but the different AI, machine learning, and so forth.
Doug, you mentioned safety as one of those things that should be part of the control system. So, when you have mobile robots moving around the warehouse, they're obviously operating around people. So, what are the best practices for safety technology in mobile robots that are deployed in busy DCs and warehouses?
Yeah, well, I think this is an important topic, particularly for end users. We're in a global economy where equipment is being purchased in all different areas of the world, and the end user holds a lot of liability if the mobile robot is not meeting the standards for safety for the area where that mobile robot is going to be operating. So if we look at, say, Europe and the US, they really want to be focused on the EN ISO 3691-4, which is a standard for driverless industrial trucks. So that would cover AGVs, AMRs. And in the US specifically, they want to pay attention to the ANSI standard, the RIA 15.08. Very important standards to make sure they're adhering to, as part of purchasing mobile robot, but also for OEMs that are developing mobile robots to be very familiar with those standards and complying with those standards.
That is important. And we have a lot of people who have no experience at all at using these kinds of systems. So, how can an equipment manufacturer or an end user get started on the right foot as a first time developer and user of mobile robot technology?
Yeah, well, I would say, first and foremost, again, consider safety, consider the different standards. When we look at OEMs, it's really not a one size fits all. A lot of OEMs that are developing mobile robots are developing, AGVs, AMRs, different types, maybe autonomous carts. Each one might have a different requirement for safety. And so a more flexible safety system that can meet the needs of all of those different mobile robots is important. So that would be one thing to consider. I think it's also really important to consider not just your current needs today, but think a bit into the future about what your control system for that mobile robot may need or what you may want out of that control system. Because again, we come back to that digital transformation and the possibility for improving your path planning and obstacle avoidance with better algorithms via AI, doing predictive maintenance on the hardware of the AGV or AMR. So all of those can be done locally on the mobile robot controller, and more importantly, those algorithms, you can react to the derivative of those in real time on the you know controller on the automation device.
And of course, technology is changing so much every day. We see new technologies, and now we have the implementation of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, what does the future hold for mobile robot technology?
Yeah, well, I would say, a couple things. One, we do see improved algorithms for the navigation via AI. So something I had, alluded to already. I think you're going to continue to see emerging sensors that improve the planning and the functions of the AGV. Also, vision. We're seeing more vision applications. We're seeing robot arms, cobot technology. More specifically, when we talk about vision and robot arms, that's another area where Beckhoff has an advantage because, again, pulling all of these functions into a single automation device. Um, and so I think, yeah, all of those, we talk about improving ROI so that you can supplement your labor with a robot, and ROI is a big part of the equation. So how well can it perform that function compared to a person, and then what's the ROI compared to the person? And combining all these into a powerful mobile robot controller is really going to improve that ROI.
Makes sense. And ROI is a critical factor in any kind of decision like that. Doug, how can someone get more information about some of the technologies that we've discussed today?
Yeah, you can visit Beckhoff at beckhoff.com. So very easy to reach us there. And we do have different areas of our website dedicated to different industries. And so you can find the intralogistics or warehousing site on our website that does have some dedicated information for mobile robots.
Great. Thanks again, Doug, for being with us today.
Thank you, Dave.
We've been talking today with Doug Schuchart, the Global Intralogistics Industry Manager at Beckhoff. And this has been Supply Chain Short Takes.